Hi everybody, my name is Devon Michael Sangiovanni, and I'm a children's author. Today, I'm going to read you my favorite book, He Loves Me, He Truly Loves Me, the story of Mupsie and me and how we came to be. He thought nobody was ever going to love him. Let's find out. It all started a long, long time ago with a tiny little furball kitten with big, beautiful blue eyes and a heart to match. He was happy to be alive and full of awe and wonder. His fur was so soft and cuddly, and his heart was full of love. He was born with a few adorable little sisters. And every day he'd sit by the phone and wait for it to ring, all excited to see who the lucky one would be who would get to share all this love with me. And every day he'd sit by the phone and wait for it to ring. And every day he'd hear John say the very same thing. Yes, we have little girl kittens. What time will you be here? Okay, see you then. And one by one, the people would come and pick up the little girl kittens, and he would be left behind. Sad, so sad. But doesn't anybody want a boy kitten, he would sob. He began to think that no one would ever love him. And he waited, and he waited, and he waited, and he waited. Day in and day out, he'd sit by the phone and wait for it to ring, in hopes it would be someone, anyone, who would call for a little boy kitten. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4, and the days turned into weeks and the weeks turned into months. Sad, so sad. He got sadder and sadder and mopier and mopier. He wouldn't even come out of his cubby to play. But then one day, he decided to pray. He started to feel hope. He started to feel alive again, and his little heart that was once so big and full of love began to grow bigger and bigger and happier and full of love like it used to be. That night when he fell asleep, he had a dream. He had a dream about a man who was gentle and kind, who would call for a little girl kitten, but when he came, he would change his mind. Happy, 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 happy. He couldn't wait to fall asleep again. And every night before he went to bed, he would pray that the man who was gentle and kind would call for a little girl kitten, but when he came, he would change his mind. As he dozed off to sleep and the good feelings would start to come, he had a smile on his little face as he lulled himself to sleep. Happy, 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 happy. The next day when he woke up, he raced down to the phone and waited for it to ring. Ring, ring. But when he heard the phone ring, he heard John say the very same thing. Yes, we have little girl kittens. What time will you be here? Okay, see you then. But this time it was different. He believed that the man who was gentle and kind would call for a little girl kitten, but when he came, he would change his mind. And he prayed, and he prayed, and he prayed, and he prayed. Ding dong, the doorbell rang. When the man walked in, he knew it was him. The man was gentle and kind. As they walked towards the kitchen, John handed him the kittens. But when he sat down in the chair, he had a look of despair. I didn't know what he was thinking. Could it be he had an inkling? It was then that he turned and he saw me sitting there. Our hearts began to flutter and love filled the air. Could it be he was the one who was the answer to my prayers? He knelt right down beside me and put me in his arms. I knew right then and there that I was safe from harm. I closed my big blue eyes and I began to purr. He tickled my little belly and my soft and cuddly fur. I knew right from the start that we would never be apart. We would always be together forever in my heart. He loves me, he truly loves me. And I said, put your coat on, we're going home. I hope you enjoyed this perfect story and keep your eye out for more books in the Mupsie series. Happy reading!